Alright, I'm going to do this intro real quick. I have two things to talk about in this video. First thing is one, the Christian Wood trade. I'm going to give my opinion on it. And two, which is a special announcement, which I'll say right now. I am making an ABA documentary. It is covering the whole league. The first part is almost done. It should be out within 1 to 2 weeks. And it's in the style of John Boyce. If you want more information about that and the future of this channel, I'll leave a timestamp down below, and I'll discuss that later. But let's go straight into the Christian Wood stuff. Alright, so I'm a little late on this. This tweet happened about 5 hours ago. The Mavs trade Sterling Brown, Boban, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, and the 26th pick for Christian Wood. I'm going to be full disclosure right here. I was at a bar watching the Stanley Cup Game 1. Great game with buddies. When this tweet came out, I did literally jump out of my chair and talk about it. And I made a fool of myself in front of tens of random people and half my friends because they don't know basketball as well as I do. And who the hell is Christian Wood? But hopefully if you're watching, you know who Christian Wood is, or I will let you know why he's important. Alright, we're going to start off with the positives of this trade. The first thing I want to say is that the Mavs really didn't have to give up much. They gave up 26th pick and a bag of chips, really. The biggest player they gave up, I think, to the Mavs is Boban, just because of locker room presence. I want to additionally say that, this doesn't really affect the Brunson situation. I think the biggest thing about this offseason for the Mavs is to re-sign Brunson. It's our main objective, and it should be our main objective. He was a good scorer in the playoffs. Disappeared a little bit against the Warriors, but he's been getting better every year of his career. Mavs, sent out a good amount of cap and brought in a little bit more cap, but doesn't really matter. We have the bird rights on Brunson. Doesn't really affect that situation. That was a big worry of mine. I do think that Wood is going to fit well alongside Luka because he is a good three-point shooter. As you can see here as his stats, he has shot around 40% for his meaningful career, which is since he's been on Detroit, in my opinion. As well as he's been shooting on good clips. Not as many attempts, but I don't think that really matters. I think all that matters really is if he can make it when he's open. He's a good screen setter. He's a good rim roller. So he can really do what Dwight Powell does anyway. And if he can shoot a three, that's just great. Speaking of Dwight Powell, I don't think Christian Wood can be much worse on defense than Dwight Powell is. Dwight Powell, he seems like a great guy, but love him or hate him, he's a fucking glass door on defense. He was damn near unplayable in the playoffs. And I don't think you get much of a downgrade from him. And worst case scenario, Christian Wood is just a better Dwight Powell. We know he can catch lobs, as he's been catching lobs from Jalen Green and John Wall. And I'm not sure he was catching lobs from in the Pistons, but it doesn't really matter. He sets good screens, and, he does big man things. And I think the Mavs just need a big man that can do big man things, and it's just a plus that he can catch them. They can shoot some threes, We're going to move on to the negatives now. So the first negative I want to talk about with Christian Wood is that he might not be that much of an upgrade from Dwight Powell on defense. To his defense, I think that there can't be much worse than Dwight Powell, and any step up is a step up. And he's a better rebounder as well, which is a big thing the Mavs need. And my hope is that him and Maxey can play well together. I know Tice and Christian Wood did not play well together with their time in Houston. However, Maxey and Christian Wood are much more similar types of bigs. They both can stretch the floor and they're more versatile. And I think this can benefit both, as I think Maxey's offensive game could get much better as he was when he had Kristaps on the floor together, as he didn't have to focus as much of his energy on the defensive end and could focus more on his offensive side, and he more of an equilibrium than when he had in the second half of the season. He could shoot better as he did in the first half of the season. Additionally, I think one of the worries for Christian Wood, and this is the biggest one for me, is that Christian Wood has been good on 3 garbage teams. And this is a big worry for me about a lot of players that do this type of move and that teams do this type of trade. I get worried a lot when when a player goes from a garbage team to a good team. And no offense to those Houston teams, those Pistons teams, but they were in the upper echelon of the lottery every single time. So that says enough. I think that a lot of times there's what I call fake stats and padded stats. I think Jeremy Grant is a player that's doing that right now. There's plenty other examples around that in the league. You might point to Vucevic because he's not doing well at all in the Bulls. There's other examples. Drummond was one as well. And to continue on that point, the fact that the Rockets gave up Christian Wood for this little, I should say, might point to the fact that GMs agree with me. Maybe he's not that good, and GMs do know more about basketball than us commoners. As much as the Twitter echelon likes to think otherwise, they really do generally. But maybe they know what we don't. They obviously traded Wood for a bag of chips, and he also did ask to play for the Celtics about 3 years ago, and the Celtics didn't sign him. He basically asked them. For his defense, the Celtics probably saw what they saw in Time Lord, but it's still a thing. The Celtics need a center at the moment, but that's neither here nor there. And my last point is he a real center? I really wanted a real center like Gobert and Mitchell Robinson, someone that could do the dirty work, because I think that was something we were missing. We're a little undersized. We got out-rebounded. But to Wood's defense, he is a good rebounder, and as long as he can do the dirty work and he won't get outmatched by Kevin Looney, I'm happy, and that's the biggest thing that worries about me. Overall, I just want to say I think this is a good trade. I think this gives us much better odds of winning, and I don't know how much better you can get from the 26th pick from Christian Wood. I mean, realistically, from the 26th pick, what are you expecting? What are you hoping for? And I would say that's Christian Wood. The biggest worry to me, realistically, is one, the defensive stuff, the negatives that I stated, but also locker room issues. I know Boban was big in the locker room, but we did keep Theo Pinson and Tim Hardaway Jr., which were accumulating fines like they're candy in the playoffs, and it is what it is. And last thing is, I don't think the locker room stuff will be that much of an issue because I haven't heard Wood of being a bad locker room person. I just know Boban's good at it, so I'm a little worried about that. But I think it will all work out. So I'm really excited for this trade. I think it's going to help the Mavs a lot, and I really hope it can work out. We're going to move on to what I have for the future of this channel next. If you guys want to tune out right now, I don't blame you. Thank you so much for watching. But if you want to continue, here we go. Alright, so this part of the video is going to be even more casual. But I'm going to get through this first part real quick. I've been working on this ABA documentary for about a month. It's based off this book by Terry Pluto called Loose Balls. My documentary is called They Took Everything But the Balls. The reason for that is the NBA did take a lot of influence from the ABA when they merged. The three-point line, the dunk contest. They took a lot of players, Dr. J, Moses Malone, Dave Thompson, George Gervin, all ABA players. They all became superstars in the NBA. They all became household names. A lot of NBA fans know those names. And I think this is a time period that a lot of people don't know about, especially basketball fans. I think it's a time period that, one, is chaotic and beautiful to learn about. I still haven't finished the book, but I'm still working on this documentary. The first part, which I've read up to enough of the first part to be made, should be out within a week or two. More to the rambling side, I've always wanted, this YouTube channel has been in the back mindset of my life for about 2 years. I think I started this about a year ago. A year before whatever my first upload is. I never was going to commit on it because I always said I wanted to make a YouTube channel similar to John Boyce and put out videos like John Boyce. That's just what I actually enjoy watching and what I think is the greatest content on YouTube. If you haven't watched him before, go watch him. He is just the greatest content creator I've ever seen. And after I saw this video by Bobby Broccoli, who does videos in John Boyce's style about science, John Boyce's sports stuff. And Bobby's style is just amazing. It's just two sides of the same coin. It's definitely in the same genre, but they are definitely distinct. But Bobby put out a video on how to animate and edit like John Boyce. And once I watched that, I really thought that's what I want this YouTube channel to be. And I've been struggling to even put out videos like this reaction stuff because it's just not what I wanted to do. I was convinced by my two of my buddies. Not really convinced. It was in the back of my head for a while to do a YouTube video. But they pushed me over the edge to do more reaction style. And I did take the funky diabetic approach where it was just me talking about basketball. And I'm not sure if these videos will continue. I think they will. I even at more higher pace, especially probably not this upcoming year, but the year after that, probably at higher pace. It's just more that I struggle with time, and these videos take longer than you think. I am pretty picky with my takes, and I actually go through these videos pretty far and wide. I know I say and stutter a lot, and which isn't in the documentary at all. I'm very professional with my takes. But even these, I'm just not great in speaking at the mic at the moment. So, I think these videos will continue. My analysis will continue. I think my analysis has gotten worse, but I think my speaking in the mic has gotten better. If that makes any sense. I think these videos will continue, but this channel will definitely be changing. I think it will be changing towards the direction of the documentary style. And I'm not sure all these documentaries will be about basketball either. I have a plan of making documentaries about music in that style of John Boyce. That's really one of my passions as well. I don't create it, and I don't play basketball either, but I really appreciate both. They really both have a big impact on my life. And I think that's where this channel might go. After the ABA documentary that I make, it might be a documentary on Kid Cudi or Kanye. I think that's a space that could really be covered in this YouTube space, one that isn't quite there. I don't think I can really do sports better than John Boyce. The only reason I'm doing the ABA is because this is a story that needs to be told and a story that people need to hear, and it's honestly hilarious. I could ramble on for days. This is a really big passion project for me. I'm really excited to present this project to people. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching if you stayed this long. Deuces.